and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where there is plenty of transfer news coming your way, because we are going to dive straight in to the big meeting today that happened between Joan Laporta and Valencia's hierarchy, with both signings and also sales being discussed in that meeting. We're going to have all of that information, plus Ousmane Dembele and his contract situation as the clock is counting down on his future at Barça, +2. Frenkie de Jong, and today, some much more positive news on his future. It is all coming your way, so let's get to it. Because indeed, guys, if we do kick off with that big Laporta meeting, because indeed this afternoon Gerard Romero broke the news that there would be important developments today made inside of the club, with Laporta heavily involved himself in whatever was going to be going on. And it turned out there that Laporta was meeting with the leading figures at Valencia, in particular their president, who of course will be overseeing the big operations that may indeed take place over the course of the summer transfer window. And it was pretty swiftly confirmed by very reliable sources in the Valencia media that indeed, in that meeting, Valencia offered Barcelona Carlos Soler, the midfielder, and Jose Gayà, the left-back. Two players, of course, who Barça have been heavily linked to recently. And both of those were offered to us by Valencia, who this summer, of course, it's no secret, either are not in a good financial situation, and they may need to offload some key players during the transfer window. Hence today, this offer by them to Barça. I thought it was also interesting and quite convenient that just minutes after those reports broke, just have a look at this here from Carlos Soler himself. He posted a story on Instagram. Nothing too crazy, but of course he is sat directly alongside there, Jose Gayà. Truly impeccable timing, I have to say. But there is a catch on Valencia's offer, because it has been reported there that Valencia offered both of those players there for a combined fee of 60 million euros this summer. And that is something that almost straight away, I feel, Barca said, okay, no thank you. We're not happy to take you up on that offer. We're not going to be spending that kind of money. And I should also stress here that out of the two of them, Soler, Gayà, there's a lot more interest from Barca in Jose Gayà. That is the player I would say that they would really like to get. Soler, for me, has always seemed like more of a backup option if Frenkie did end up leaving. We're, of course, going to be discussing that in just a few minutes' time. But Gayà is the one that certainly Barca are looking to get their hands on. Now, of course, right now, Barca have rejected that Valencia initial offering, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the deal is dead, because, of course, what we should also bear in mind definitely is that there is interest from Valencia in several Barcelona players. Just today, Gerard Romero says that in that meeting, Barca were informed that Valencia would like to sign Martin Braithwaite. There is interest there in Braithwaite ahead of the summer, who looks almost certain to move on from Barca. And also don't forget that back in January, they were very heavily linked to Oscar Mingueza, who could also be on his way out of the camp now this summer. So there is potential there to maybe lower those fees with some players included. If maybe some sort of swap deal could happen, I don't know. But certainly Gayà, when it comes to Barca, he is the man that we should be looking out for. But indeed, guys, if we do move on to talk now about Ousmane Dembele, whose contract as it stands here today expires at Barca in just over 6 weeks' time. So like I say, the clock, it has been for a while now, is very much ticking. He, of course, turned 25 years old on Sunday. That was the day of our game against Getafe. And, of course, in that game, curiously, he was left on the bench for the entirety of it. He played no minutes at all against Getafe, and you just wondered there whether there was any more to that, because I don't think that was a tactical decision despite what may be said. I think maybe there was more to that, because of course as of right now there has been no progress at all made in these negotiations between Barca and indeed Dembele's representatives. In particular, you've got Moussa Sissoko, who continues to ask for a big signing bonus. That's what he wants, to renew Dembele at Barca, and that is something the club have said simply, no, we are not going to give you that. And indeed today another meeting has taken place between the club and indeed Dembele's team, but the feeling, I have to say right now, it is very much unchanged. Right throughout the media, it is being reported that inside the club, they just don't believe it'll happen. They do not believe that Dembele is going to renew at Barca. And honestly, guys, hand on heart, I'm not really sure the club ever did. I think, of course, they've been trying. It does have to be said, you know, we've had plenty of meetings. We put offers on the table. There is a real will there from the club and indeed Xavi to keep Dembele here. But there's still no progress. And with time running out and rumours now that you're starting to hear about interest, of course, from PSG that we've always known about, now as well, apparently Bayern Munich may have ended the race to sign Dembele. And there is, of course, a feeling that his agent has been talking with these clubs over the past few months about a potential free transfer this summer. So right now on Dembele, it looks unlikely. Of course, you don't want to ever rule anything out. But I think the club believe this extension looks very, very unlikely. However, guys, let me now give you some more positive news, because I want to move on here and talk about Frenkie de Jong and his future at Barca. Because, of course, we have heard over the past few days, particularly from Joan Romero, that he was almost certain, almost guaranteed there to leave Barca this summer, and Manchester United were the big favourites to land his signature. However, on Monday night there, Gerard Romero did talk a little bit again about De Jong's future, and what he said basically was that almost every single day, Erik ten Hag actually calls Frenkie de Jong to try to convince him to join Man United. Because De Jong, as of right now, still wants to stay at Barca, and especially, even if he was going to go, he wants to be playing Champions League football, and for that reason, he's not currently open to joining Man United. And I just have to say, already there, that doesn't sound to me like a deal that was 95% complete. We all heard from Romero, like I say, he put his reputation on the line by saying that it was a 95% chance of happening. And right now, I just don't see that. You know, De Jong has never seemed open to that move to United, and especially now if we're talking about having to convince him, calling him every day, things like this, that does not sound like a deal that is going to happen. What was interesting, though, was that Gerard Romero did want to talk about Frenkie de Jong's wages. We all know that De Jong currently is one of the highest earning players at the club, earning there around €300,000 a week, but here comes the interesting part, because when you're talking about contracts that were handed out by Bartomeu, there's always often bad news just around the corner. There's always something in there that's going to hit you where it hurts most. And Gerard Romero reports that Bartomeu actually inserted a certain clause there into Frenkie de Jong's deal, whereby his current wages would significantly increase in his 4th season at the club. And that is, of course, the season that we are approaching with De Jong at Barca. And it is being said now that if De Jong was to stay, if he did want to continue here at Barca, then he would need to reduce that salary. That big increase that's coming, Barca don't feel comfortable paying that. But the good news is that Gerard Romero says that Frenkie would be more than happy to do that. He would indeed take that step in order to continue here, in order to keep everything running smoothly. That reduction would indeed happen. And sitting here today, guys, you know, looking at what Romero's been saying, looking at maybe the fact that he's starting to backtrack a little on that original Man United Frenkie claim, I think as we're sitting here, he's more likely to stay at Barca. I think when you look at the will of the player, the fact that he really does want to stay here, the fact that Xavi really does want to keep him, of course, like I say, if a massive offer came in, and I'm not talking about 70 million, I'm not talking about 80 million, I'm talking there about an offer that comes in over 100 million euros, maybe then Barca would sit back and think, whoa, that is a lot of money. But I think right now, Frenkie, for me, he is more likely to stay than to leave the club this summer. And of course, for our squad and our team, and in terms of keeping our best players, there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that that would be fantastic news. So please, guys, do let me know your thoughts in the comments down below today. There is plenty going on right now with these big meetings that are happening behind the scenes. Let me know your thoughts on Dembele and indeed De Jong's future at Barca. Please also make sure you're checking out the content as well over on MORETALKFCB. I need both channels right now to keep you up to date with everything that is going on throughout this summer, guys. It is going to be absolutely mental. So stay updated, and thank you indeed for joining me each and every day. It means the world. I will be seeing you soon, of course. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.